Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we are tackling one of the most fascinating and, let's be honest, absolutely frustrating quirks of artificial intelligence. We're going to dive into how developers actually step in and fix an AI when it, well, just makes things up. So why does an AI sometimes lie to you with total unwavering confidence? Think of a raw, untrained AI, kind of like an overly eager intern on their very first day at a new job. You know the type. They want to please you so badly and they want to appear super smart. So if you ask them a question they don't actually know the answer to, they won't just admit it. Instead, they panic and guess from memory, stringing together facts that sound incredibly plausible. It's well-intentioned for sure, but as you can imagine, it is a huge problem for accuracy. But here's the good news. To fix this, engineers actually use a highly specific blueprint. This is basically our master plan for dealing with AI hallucinations. It outlines 8 very specific technical methods used to build sturdy guardrails around our overly eager AI intern. Let's unpack these 8 methods together and see exactly how they essentially force an AI to tell the truth. To make all this easy to grasp, we're going to group these methods into 3 relatable newsroom phases. First, we've got the hallucination problem itself. Then, equipping the researcher, setting strict output boundaries, and bringing in the fact-checking editors. Finally, we'll wrap things up with trust, but always verify. Okay, part 1, the AI hallucination problem. Enter our eager intern. Let's make sure we define the actual problem really clearly here. An AI hallucination happens when an AI generates an output based entirely on its own predictive confidence rather than actual grounded factual accuracy. Because the AI is essentially just a really advanced system predicting the next most logical word in a sentence, it can easily string together these beautifully articulate but completely false statements. Without strict systematic oversight, our junior reporter is literally just confidently inventing facts. Moving right into part 2, equipping the AI researcher with much better tools. So how do we stop the AI from relying on its own fuzzy memory? Developers use Method 1, grounding with RAG, which stands for Retrieval Augmented Generation, along with references. Instead of letting the AI just wildly guess, we give it an open book test. It actually retrieves real data, picks the absolute best chunks of that data, generates an output based only on what it found, and then actually adds citations. It forces the AI to look it up exactly like a helpful librarian physically guiding our intern to the exact right book. But hey, even with an open book, you've got to make sure it's reading the right books, right? That's where methods 3 and 4 come in. They act like a master research librarian. The system takes your request and converts it into a super focused search query, expands the keywords to fetch relevant data, and then it aggressively filters everything. It ranks the top results and completely drops the irrelevant chunks to give the AI a clean context. Because if you feed an AI garbage sources, you're going to get garbage answers. These 2 methods ensure the AI only reads the absolute best, highly relevant materials before it even types a single word. Which brings us to part 3, setting strict output boundaries and writing guidelines. Let's contrast a raw AI with Method 5, answer using context only. A raw AI, it'll just spit out whatever sounds conversational and helpful. But with Method 5, we enforce a strict, unbreakable rule. The AI fetches the context, and then it must actively verify that the evidence for its answer actually exists in that text. If the evidence is missing, it is programmed to stop and request more details from the user. Otherwise, it answers and includes its references. It is literally like making a witness testify under oath, strictly reading from the court documents right in front of them. Absolutely no outside speculation allowed. And that leads us perfectly into Method 6, structured responses. This specifically uses something called JSON, which is a very rigid data format used by computers. Imagine handing our eager intern a highly structured fill-in-the-blank form instead of a blank piece of paper. The AI produces an output, and the system immediately checks it against strict schema rules. It completely validates the format. If errors are found, like, say, it put a whole paragraph where a simple calendar date should be, the system kicks it right back, returning an error message, and forces the AI to fix it. It physically cannot submit the work until every single box is formatted perfectly. All right, part 4, the fact-checking editors. This is all about strict quality control. Now, before a human ever even sees the response, we use Method 7, confidence evaluation. The AI creates a response, but the system internally measures the AI's confidence level in that specific answer. It then compares that metric against a preset hard limit. If the confidence is too low, meaning the AI is essentially mathematically shrugging its shoulders, the system intervenes. It will either outright reject the answer or prompt for clarification. If it passes, it returns the answer and logs the data. It's basically a built-in automated doubt detector. Next up is method 2, adding a validation agent. Think of this agent as the ultimate no-nonsense senior editor holding a bright red pen. A completely separate AI steps in and reviews the facts. It matches every single claim the primary AI made against the original evidence. If it finds unsupported fluff, it marks those weak claims and forces the primary AI to generate the text all over again for a total rewrite. Only when that strict validation agent finally signs off do we get our final response. All of this incredibly hard work culminates in Method 8, the verification cycle. It is basically a rigorous chronological gauntlet. First, the AI prepares a draft. Then, the system identifies key claims, validates that information, fixes any incorrect details, generates an updated answer, and only then produces a verified final response. It's a continuous, relentless loop of editing and checking, pretty much guaranteeing the intern's work is flawless before it ever reaches your screen. Just to really lock all of this in, let's look back at those newsroom analogies for a second. Grounding with RAG, that's our open book test. Forcing context only is like testifying under oath. JSON schemas act as our fill-in-the-blank forms, and that validation agent is our strict senior editor. Pretty amazing to see just how much systematic engineering goes into keeping this technology completely honest, isn't it? Finally, part 5, trust but always verify. The absolute bottom line. The ultimate takeaway from all this source material gives us a really clear mandate. Be curious, be critical, be accurate, trust but verify. You see, no matter how many strict editors or automated doubt detectors developers code into a system, AI is ultimately just a tool, and it's one that requires an engaged, critical human at the end of the line. So the next time an AI gives you a super confident answer, I want you to ask yourself, who actually fact-checked the intern? I really hope this explainer leaves you curious to explore the hidden guardrails of AI. Keep learning, keep questioning, and above all, keep verifying.